To an extent, we have to care what people think within reason. You can't go to work with no clothes on and say, well, I don't care what anyone thinks. And if you literally don't care at all, like, you're probably a psychopath. The trick is not putting what other people think of you as your first priority. So here's the truth. Humans are wired for social connection, and we are literally made that way. And that's why we care so much. That's why we have so much fear around it. And so it's not a bad thing. It's not that you're weak. It's not that there's anything wrong with you. And I used to think that something was wrong with me because I always was taught, like, oh, don't care what anyone thinks about you. But I did. And so I felt like something was wrong with me. To an extent, in a healthy way, we have to care what people think within reason, right? Like, you can't go to work with no clothes on and say, well, I don't care what anyone thinks. Or you can't steal someone's stuff and say, well, I don't care what anyone thinks. And if you literally don't care at all, like, you're probably a psychopath. The trick is caring more what you think about yourself and caring more about just not putting what other people think of you as your first priority. Learning how to manage it in a healthy way. Because not caring at all is not necessarily healthy. It's easy to do. Like, we naturally care what people think because our mind views it as a threat. You have the power within you to be that confident person, to be sure of yourself, to be secure. And I want to teach you how to do that today. So here's the real truth that your brain is not telling you. The truth is that everybody is insecure in their own way. For some people, maybe it's their looks. With others, it's their social skills. For others, maybe they don't feel like they're super smart or outgoing or athletic. Everybody is insecure about something. So when you see someone and you think, oh, they're so confident, they're so perfect, they're not insecure about anything, I promise you that they are. Everybody has some level of insecurity. The other truth you need to know is that people actually don't think about you as much as you think they think about you. People are way more worried about themselves. So when you leave a social situation and you're overthinking everything you said, guess what? They are doing the same thing. They're not thinking about what you said. They're not thinking that you're weird and that everything you said was weird. They're thinking about themselves. When you're worried about what they're thinking about you, guess what? They're worried about what you're thinking about them. You are not able to control perception. Somebody could have a perception of you and it might be wrong. And it's not your job or your responsibility to worry about that because you can't control all the time how you're perceived. Just because someone perceives something doesn't mean it's real. And we shouldn't have that pressure on ourselves to try to form everybody's opinion about you in a certain light. That is exhausting. That is no way to live. Be proud of the person that you are. And if some people can see that in you, that's great. Not everybody will. And that's okay. Don't wear out your life trying to impress people and make others see you the way you want to be seen. So here's what actually helped me stop caring. Okay, it was actually tough. All right, my real life experiences kind of forced me to stop caring as much. Story time. Growing up, I grew up with the most supportive parents that built me up so much, that basically made me feel like I was like the best thing in the world. I thought I was just the hottest, the best, the most athletic, the smartest. I wasn't any of those things, okay? But they made me feel like I was. I feel like I got praised a lot when I was younger. But then, fast forward to my real life adult life, my husband started school out somewhere and we moved, just him and I, away. We lived in Portland. And going from my hunky-dory little town to Portland, Oregon, where no one gave a crap about who I was, nobody knew me or cared to know me. People in Portland are kind of cutthroat, and they're not the most bubbly and friendly people in the world. Sorry. They're great in other ways. So, a few months of that kind of started to wear on me, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, no one here cares about me. And so it was kind of like disorienting for me. And I realized, like, oh my gosh, this is just real life, like when you're an adult. So I had to learn to create my own sense of validation. And it was actually so good for me because what I didn't realize is that because I was praised so much as a kid, it became almost an addiction for me. And I craved outside validation so much. And I had to just realize I need to create within myself confidence that doesn't look outward, that looks inward and upward to God and nowhere else. I can't look to other people to validate me and also or to tear me down, because if I care so much about what other people think when it's positive, then I'm also going to care what they think when it's negative. And that is like a way to live like this up and down on a roller coaster, and I didn't want to live like that. And so I would pray and I would really try to ask God like what he thinks of me and how does he view me. And I felt so much peace in that. I started looking inward and asking myself, am I the person that I want to be? And I started loving who I was because I was reflecting and making choices to be the person that I wanted to. The other thing that really helped me was becoming a mom. Because when you're a mom, you are responsible for another human being. That cute little person looks to me to make decisions, to set boundaries, to protect them, to create a life for them that they want to live. And so I had to stop looking to even my parents or my in-laws of how to live a life. I had to decide for myself and with my husband of how we wanted to live our life. What is going to make us fulfilled and happy and create the family that we want to create. And I realized that if I don't do that, then I will look back on my life and realize I did not live the life that I wanted to live. And I refused to do that. I refused to look back on my life and think this is not the life that I wanted to live. I will do whatever it takes to be able to reflect on my life and be proud of it, and especially with my family. And so that kind of, I just threw all the people pleasing out the window and said I have to do what I need to do. But never ever take advice from someone that you don't look at them and want their life, or at least that aspect of their life, right? Like, only take advice from people that you really admire and you want to be like them. Okay. Okay. Only take advice from people that you admire, that you want to be like, that you want their life or a life similar to theirs. Because everybody has different opinions and everybody has different life choices that are going to lead them down different paths. And if someone is on path A and you want to be on path B, and they're all making fun of you for all your choices that got you on plan A, on plan B, then you got to ask yourself, like, okay, well, if I were to live my life like them, I would be where they're at. And I don't want to be where they're at. So then you have to do something differently so you don't end up where they're at. So sit down and ask yourself, what type of life do I want to live? And then completely avoid everything that's not that. It is crazy that we don't live the lives we want because we care what someone else might think. All that matters is what you think and what you feel about your life and what God thinks. Everyone else is noise. Some of my friends, when they want to get a haircut, they ask everyone, oh, should I cut my hair like this? And there's nothing inherently wrong with that. It's kind of fun to ask and get opinions. However, you can't genuinely be seeking other people's opinions like that about your choices, because if you like it, you do it. If someone else doesn't like it, they don't have to do it. And don't worry what others might think of you or view you or might not like it, because it's your life and you're the one that gets stuck with your consequences and you're the one that is living your life. So get out there and live it to the fullest that you can.